everybody, let me talk to you because we are coming back at you live with another edition of the 3 Count and Out podcast. Yeah, we are coming with episode 76, not Soldier 76, episode 76. We are cocked, locked, and ready to rock to talk about the world of the WWE, to talk about the world of AEW, to get an insider scoop into the NFL, and if time permits, we'll be able to talk about some college football as well. My name is Jackal. I am the human dump truck parked out on your front lawn, and joined with me, as always, is the Girl Scout merit badge and basket weaving that still eludes you to this day. His name's Mike.
Yeah, you'll always try your best, but you'll never come close enough.
You'll just never get there. You'll just never
I'm not
be...
upset. I'm just disappointed.
oh, fake disappointment hiding real fucking pain.
Like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh, gross. Before we jump all on into that, make sure, if you enjoy the things that we are saying right now, make sure you hit that 5-star rating on this platform. Leave a comment down below, and if and when it happens, I will make sure Mike puts on his best, sweet, sultry voice to read it out live on the air. Make sure you are subscribing over on the YouTube, smashing that like button, leaving a comment down below, hitting all of the buttons to support a brand new podcast, and we appreciate it nonetheless. We hope that we take off in the next couple of months so we can make it out back to Las Vegas to be there live and in living color for WrestleMania 42. Unfortunately, that is a long way from now. A very, 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 very long way from now. We got a lot of things to get through first, and one of those things being is Night of Champions is fast approaching. Not necessarily the go-home show for Night of Champions just yet. I do believe that'll be next week. However,
2 weeks out.
2 weeks out, we got a lot of stuff to talk about because I think, Mike, we're on the same page here. The most recent SmackDown that just occurred is probably the best SmackDown that's happened in since 2025. So probably in 6 months, I'd say.
That's possible. That is entirely possible.
It was really, really good. It helped a lot of stories make sense. It progressed a lot of stuff. I think they realized how close they are to another big PLE and how important Night of Champions and Evolution is going to be for them. And they really kind of kicked it off into overdrive because first things first, apparently John Cena is just an evil mastermind after all. He's not the hustle, loyalty, respect guy anymore. He's actually Vector from Despicable Me.
Oh, of course.
Often confused with each other. I know I certainly got them confused when I first started watching wrestling. He laid out his whole entire plan, for lack of a better word, throughout the course of 2025, making it seem like he's the mastermind. He's the one pulling all the strings. Not Dwayne. Not at all. He brought him up, but it just sort of tied up a couple loose ends that really shouldn't have been that loose to begin with, in my super non-professional opinion. But one I did like, though, is how he set up his match with Punk. He said pretty much along the lines of, I knew I was going to fight Punk. Why not make him a hypocrite? If he wants to fight me, he's going to have to prove to everybody that he is a hypocrite due to CM Punk's very outspoken nature against the blood money capital of the world, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, this is like the first actual heel thing he's done his whole quote unquote bad guy run. Like, he's kicked people in the balls and hit people with belts because, of course, that's what they think bad guys do.
Obviously.
This is the first time where you're like, man, fuck that dude. Making CM Punk go to Saudi just to face him for the belt. Oh, that's a dick move. But I mean, that is one of the things that you do correctly, other than, make him just have another color T-shirt for people to buy.
That's oh Jesus. If we wanna quick have a nice little side tangent on that, man. I really, really was sort of expecting Cena to be back week after week and having these standout moments where everybody was really excited to see Cena. He's like gonna have such these impassioned and embridled promos, but instead he's just gonna sort of come out, be in a pissy attitude, wearing a brand new piece of merch, and everybody in the crowd's gonna be holding brand new $900 spinner belts. He's gonna collect a big old fat paycheck and then go back to his trailer and read the script for Peacemaker 2.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they are just going through the colors of the rainbow and going, all right, that's the color of the shirt this week. And so it's just another piece of merch for people to buy. It's just another thing for, people to enjoy, I guess, because nobody's listening to them really fucking talk. I mean, that was kind of the one thing that came to a head this week, too, which I think it happened when Naomi was talking, where another person, they kept on fucking what chanting like it's 2005. And, the wrestlers are starting to get tired of it as well. They should be.
I really, I'm always America good, America not bad, America good, when always that talk of American crowds versus European crowds. But that is one thing that I do firmly believe, that the U.S. crowds do have a really, really hard time with, is chanting along to genuinely anything else that isn't what or this is awesome. Because
and then they go, oh man, that person's not over. Well, maybe if you didn't act like an asshole and let them fucking talk. Yeah, you're right. We aren't really getting to hear what they're saying because a whole crowd is chanting what for 15 minutes while they're trying to give a speech. And it's like, well, you just killed the whole momentum. And don't get me wrong, I get some of them are boring. Some of them can't really talk either, but shit, you have to give them a chance to at least build a character.
Most people that have succumbed to the what chant usually do end up sucking. I will say, in regards to Naomi, though, right now she's probably one of the best women on the roster with an actual character and doing character work as well. Sure, there are characters on the roster, but 9 times out of 10, it's just, I myself turned up to an 11. Naomi is nowhere near how she acts in real life as her character right now. If she does, more power to her. I don't know Naomi in real life. It's just I've seen the way she acts amongst fans and on camera, and it ain't her character right now, so I kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Yep.
I just know that the merch constantly piling up, the ticket prices piling up, the Cena run not getting delivered in the way that everybody expected to, the circling back to Vegas, the cutting the shows shorter, the cutting of the live events, everything TKO is doing just piling up and up and up and up, and it's really starting to leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. I know you said it a couple weeks ago, but there has been literally nothing as of late to be excited of or look forward to, for that matter, because TKO hasn't been making it worth your while to begin with, as they're trying to suck as much money out of you as possible to dig themselves out of a $2 million, however billion, $3 million hole, even
$3 billion with a B.
Billion, you said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse. That's even worse. Oh, yeah. It makes my point more warranted, though.
Well, and that's like, it's getting to the point. We had Triple H's WWE for a while, and you could tell. And the one good thing they're doing now, even if they're not putting him on the big shows, is that the tag team division on SmackDown at the very least is getting showtime.
Oh my God.
But other than that, like, we have Seth Rollins' group, which is just kind of
The Naughty
chugging
Naughty
along.
Boys.
They're going to be in a feud with LA Knight. Okay, whatever. Hopefully they do something with that.
We're gonna circle back to Seth. I have some thoughts on all that stuff. I want to get your opinion
But
on it, but keep going.
it's just there's been so much fucking laziness, and it seems like this is. I don't know if Triple H is getting told no, or if they're going, "Hey, we need to do what we need to do to push sales." So that's why we have certain people getting belts. We have certain people getting into a different spot than they normally would be because, hey, we got to sell those shirts. We got to sell those belts because clearly we're not doing well. That's why we're going back to Vegas because we already kind of own Vegas. So
we
we're
got to
just going to
put
keep on going back and milking that.
we got to put 7-Eleven on the turnbuckle. We got to put Slim Jim on the tables. We got to put Fireball on the ladder. We got to put Cash App on the fucking briefcase. We got to put Prime on literally everything. It's really starting to get old.
For being a company that has consistently been, we are the number one. Right now, what they're doing is driving people to watch companies like AEW. I would say TNA, but that's just WWE light at this point.
Extremely. It's NXT, but in a different shade of color.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you're driving people to watch AEW in droves because AEW is just going, well, F it, come watch a pay-per-view on a Wednesday for free, you know? And we won't have 400 ads or sponsors around the ring, and we're not going to have a lot of storylines because we can't really tell them. But hey,
the ones we do have,
the wrestling is going to be fucking great.
Right. It feels really, really not good right now in all terms of that by any stretch of the word. So when you do have a shining moment like you had on Friday, it does give you the tiniest, smallest, most petite little ounce of hope that you could imagine, because Cena came on down to the ring, was interrupted by CM, or was he? No, he wasn't interrupted by Punk. He was interrupted by Cody, and then he was interrupted by Randy, and then he was interrupted by LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, oh boy, I really, really need to see Cena LA Knight one more time, or not even one more time, just once before December rolls around, because after that little spicy interaction and the way that LA Knight just dug into him, really sort of unannounced and honestly kind of unprovoked, I got my peach tickled pink at that point, and I think that is going to be a very, very killer feud.
Well, and that's one of the people that could actually go bar for bar against Cena on a microphone, which is probably why they haven't put him with him. Like, the only person that's really been able to do that so far is CM Punk. And so they're not going to put... I mean, Cody is a company man. He's very normal right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't go out and say too much. And really, like, Seth, you're going to hear probably the same stuff. So it really leaves just LA Knight as somebody, unless, but we're not going to get Drew McIntyre back anytime soon. He's somebody else that would go out and speak his mind.
Yeah, Drew and Kevin Owens would be two really good ones that I would love to see Cena square off with one more time. It's just, I know for a fact that the injuries are probably a bit too much right now. I know somebody in the comments...
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing...
Drew McIntyre, he's going to come back. It's all just a work, man. Watch, it's all just a work. Fuck off. He's probably hurt for real. Same thing with Kevin Owens. They're not going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
One person that we are going to see, though, that Cena did have a lot to say about him on Friday is Seth Rollins. How he kind of ensured that Seth Rollins is essentially his make sure I keep this title forever, because he's going to want to be the first real champion back once I'm done, which is like, actually, son of a bitch, John, that kind of makes sense. I was thinking, though, I do think there is a very realistic world where Seth cashes in on Cena, Mike. At first, I only thought Seth was going to go after the World Heavyweight title, but genuinely, I could see Seth cashing in on Cena. 100%.
I would love Saudi Arabia. Punk's gonna do it, man. Goes to Saudi, goes to the Blood Money pay-per-view, gets that GTS, and it's a guaranteed 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden the music hits.
Right?
And Seth
Right?
steals it there to be like the ultimate bad guy. But I think that's too good of an idea, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey, stop it. You're using your brain, Mike. That's too smart, okay? You're hurting their little brains back in Connecticut. You're hurting my little brain. I can't even talk right anymore. I simply see that for the fact of that is the most perfect thing to take the title off of Cena right now, because I was talking with another friend of mine. This whole time I was trying to explain it to him of I only could see him taking the World Heavyweight title. But then the conversation turned to, okay, if you see that, who's going to beat Cena then? Realistically, out of everybody on the roster right now, how many people could you see actually beating John Cena for the WWE title before he disappears in December?
1, 2, 7 or 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, we only could think of about maybe 3 in a realistic sense.
See, the one thing about Cena, and yeah, he's a quote-unquote bad guy right now, but the one thing he's done his whole career is put over new people in the show, right? I mean,
True.
think about
Austin Theory.
Kevin Owens when he came to the main roster, Sami Zayn's first match with him,
Yep.
stuff like that. So, I mean, there's your first one, Sami Zayn. Do people want that? Probably not. Is
No.
it possible? Sure. The ones that would make the most sense would be Randy Orton and CM Punk. Right? Those are the two that would make the most sense just history-wise.
It's funny you mentioned Punk, because we were talking about it and we said realistically, we don't see Punk beating Cena, because I do agree that Punk should at least get one more title before he's done. Very similar with Randy Orton as well. I see Punk beating the guy who beats Cena. Whoever that is. I don't see Punk beating Cena. I see Punk being next in line after them. Randy,
it would have to be a good story, so I think it would still end up being like he would take the belt off of Seth.
Right?
People.
Right?
Just basically storyline-wise.
So the 3 that we saw was Seth, Orton, and I think, oh God, who was the third one? This was earlier in the week, so I'm having a hard time trying to remember. The third one was Cody, just purely in classic WWE fashion of I'm gonna get my title back again because I'm the white meat baby face, and I gotta beat the guy that beat me again. You know.
Well, and it's kind of that. Unfortunately, Brock already passed him the torch, but it would kind of be the symbolic passing of the torch again. But I mean, then there's like surprises where Gunther, maybe, but he has the other title right now. But that's, if somebody cashed in on him, he goes, I'm going to be the one to finally put Cena out.
I wouldn't, if that happens, I wouldn't hate it. It's just, however, with everything going on with Goldberg right now, which more and is getting closer and closer to happening.
I hate that.
It just
That
don't
dude's
see
gonna
that
drop
happening.
dead in the middle of the ring, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, we never saw that coming."
Who, if anybody could have told us this was a bad idea, we would have greatly appreciated it at the time. If only someone would have known.
Yeah, Gunther's gonna chop him once, and his chest is gonna explode.
Bang! Oh no! Owie!
Because the dude has shown. This is not me making fun of him. This isn't a hot take. He can only do a spear now.
Yeah, because
that's a fact.
Yes.
Because he's old as fuck, and his whole moveset used to be very athletic kicks and big, strong moves. And he's not big, strong anymore. Not Goldberg big, strong anyways. He can't do a jackhammer to save his life anymore.
I know.
So he's going to spear.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, if he wins the belt, I'm turning off Raw for at least 2-3 months.
So
I'm not watching it.
From what it sounds like, you did a bit very similar to what a prior guest has done, Fire Guy Kev. You essentially just described Jey Uso's moveset. So this is going...
Well, except Jey can dive outside the ring. Jey can actually jump off a top rope without, turning into dust. Which he does.
And Jey knows how to spell one word, 4 letters. Sadness.
Well, that's more than 4 letters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. Shit.
And again, Jey Uso was for a younger crowd. And again, to sell merch, but he was for a younger crowd, just like Cena was when he debuted.
Very true.
And Goldberg is for nobody other than blood money. And I hate that. There's literally nobody that wants that match in America. And if you do, I'm assuming you can't write your own name.
Speaking of everything going on in Blood Money, I was about to say, speaking of not knowing how to write your own name, Stephanie Vaquer, I lose my train of thought every time.
That's fair.
The finale to the King of the Ring tournament is getting ever closer. We'll be able to talk about the actual pick'ems for said match next week, but both semifinal matches will be taking place. The last first round match will be taking place this week, tonight, with the last Fatal 4-Way, and then both semifinal matches will be taking place next week. There we go. Had to get my train of thought back. I was too busy thinking about Stephanie again.
Fair.
I have a screenshot here of the tournament because the way that they're setting it up is rather interesting to me. Because both the women's and the men's have a final 3 that I probably never would have predicted. In the semifinal match for the women already set up is Roxanne Perez versus Jade Cargill. In the other match is Alexa Bliss going up against the winner of Asuka, Stephanie, Raquel, and Ivy Nile. In the men's, the semifinals
end up being Stephanie.
Is Sami Zayn going up against Randy Orton, and it's going to be in the other match Cody Rhodes going up against the winner of Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, and Jey Uso.
So probably Jey.
Ended up being the mystery surprise opponent for that match.
I hate that. I fucking hate that.
And the crowd goes, but Mike, he's not for you though.
It's not. See, but again, that part doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. He literally lost the belt, and they went, well, because he lost the belt, now he's in. Like, use the mystery spot for one of the million other fucking people that you have.
Carrying cross.
The guy selling fucking merch just by talking. Like, instead, you're wasting a spot on somebody that just had a storyline to, make him face Cody? Probably.
I'm happy with this setup purely for what it's going to bring in the finals at Blood Money. Because realistically, we're both definitely on the same page that Jay is probably going to win tonight, since Mike and I are recording this on Monday, about an hour before Raw even starts. So I feel like realistically it's going to be Jay and Cody, so they could get that storyline of, oh my God, the two drunk boys from the drunk post show, can they coexist while they fight each other? The world may never know. And you get Sammy and Orton on the other side, which is, on paper actually a really entertaining match. It just makes the finals a wee bit predictable, because I feel if Orton wins, I believe the Sammy Orton match is going to happen first. So if Orton wins, I feel like Cody's basically a lock. And if Sammy wins, you could also say that Jay is essentially a lock to win that match as well.
Where is King of the Ring? Do you know where the finals are taking place? Are they taking place at Blood Money?
The final should be taking place at Blood Money, because last year they did when Gunther and Nia won.
So, you saying that, who's very, 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 very popular in Saudi Arabia?
That would be Mr. Sami Zayn, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's very obvious in that regard, but I still kind of believe that, yes, they are going to Saudi now. However, they are going to be back in Saudi in less than a year. I called it very soon after Mania. I'm gonna make sure I keep bringing it up. So if and when it happens, I'm going to be very, very happy and very braggadocious that Stevie Wonder called this from miles away. When Sami Zayn wins the 2026 Royal Rumble, I think that one's a bit more of a lock to happen. Again, I could be wrong. He could knock off Orton here real quick, and then all of a sudden I'm going to be eating my words about this time in three weeks, we'll know. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it may be.
Well, and then the other thing you're not thinking of is, how do we get Randy versus Cena? What do we do, besides for Randy going, come on, man, we have history, you kind of pulled a fast one over on me on the last one, how about we go at it one more time? I have the King of the Ring. Something like that. Randy could win, or it could be. The only reason I don't think it's Jay is because there's rumors that WWE is interested in a certain tag team coming back.
Yes. Big Jim needs to show that he's actually worth his paycheck and not be sitting back and catering for the past ever since the split happened.
Yeah, not being R-Truth Part 2.
Ooh, speaking of which, quick side note, but we're good for those. Where the fuck does Ron Killings fit into all this, huh?
Who knows?
Exactly. He's running around talking to Big Jim saying, oh, you're friends with R-Truth. Where is he? Tell him I'm going out to the ring, in Cena's best acting fashion possible. If you think John Cena's a good actor, I feel sorry for you. I feel very sorry for you. I'm getting so tired of Cena's over-the-top Disney Channel PG bullshit acting. It's so fucking played out, Mike. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's because they're not going to let him be Peacemaker in WWE.
Although I wish they did.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, he is a great actor when he's not in WWE.
Yeah! The over-the-top PG shit, it just don't work because it gives me freaking 2011 flashbacks, and I get PTSD from that baloney fudge and mustard promo that he cut on like the anonymous Raw GM or whatever.
Yep.
Because R-Truth is still wandering around, and I think the fans kind of are going to end up shoehorning R-Truth into another title match. I don't think it's going to be Night of Champions. However, he could cost Punk the Night of Champions match. I don't know, which would set up a big multi-man match at SummerSlam. One thing that we haven't brought up yet, though, is that very similar to last year, the winner of the King and Queen of the Ring will receive a title shot at SummerSlam, like happened a year ago with both Nia Jax and Gunther. So whoever wins these will be in a title shot in New Jersey, and our ever lovely co-host Era V1 will get to see it live and in concert.
I mean, if he wants to.
If he wants to, though, it's up to him.
He doesn't have to go.
So I think there is a shot that Seth could screw over Punk, and then Punk teams up with LA Knight to have a big old multi-man match with those and Seth with...
Oh boy, another one.
Yep. Again, and go ahead, tell me I'm wrong with the way that the creative's been going right now.
Yeah.
And then R-Truth maybe interferes with whoever's in the King of the Ring or something. Yeah,
because he came out and assaulted Cena anyway. So I mean, he's clearly not done with him or whatever. He clearly wants to go attack Cena again. He wants another chance at the belt. So I'm sure we're gonna get that again. What it's gonna be, I don't know. But yeah, at some point we're getting R-Truth in some sort of title picture. I'm assuming
some sort of capacity, and only time will tell on what it will actually be. Hopefully, we know more the closer that we get to Night of Champions. And real quick,
I'm sure tonight is probably gonna gear us towards that.
Oh yeah, tonight will answer a lot of questions for us. I do think the women's side of things too. Roxanne Perez going up against Jade, and you said probably Alexa going up against Stephanie in those
I think
semis.
That's what you said.
Those matches do set up some fun stuff going on as well too, because the women's wrestling right now is I would say in order of quality of wrestling in WWE right now, number 1, it goes the SmackDown Tag Division. Number 2, it goes the women's wrestling. Number 3 is everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know who I want to win out of this, because it's also including a returning Asuka after she finally gets done dealing with like people trying to break into her home or whatever.
And I'll say this, if they treat her coming back the way they did Kyrie, don't expect much.
Oh boy. Not much, if anything at all. It sucks saying this. It really does, because I love the both of them individually. I love Joshi.
Absolutely.
Joshi wrestling. I'm not sure on the actual pronunciation. Women's Japanese wrestling. What I do see happening is bringing the Kabuki Warriors back. Because right now, if they're not going to retire the women's tag titles, you need to give them to an actual fucking tag team, not a can they coexist thing like you got going on right now with Liv and Raquel. I know they have history, but those two are an actual tag team who've held it before and are absolutely proven while holding those. All the other teams you had are in the unemployment line right now. So, just saying.
Well, and they're talking about how they're teaming up Natalya and Maxine Dupree and making them a real team. And so, yeah, unfortunately, I think when Asuka comes back, she's going to be wedged into a fucking tag team. So instead of getting like Kyrie and Asuka doing Kyrie and Asuka shit, they're going to be in a tag team. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, we've seen it. They don't really know what to do unless you're Io Sky. They don't really know what to do with a foreign wrestler.
And even still, they don't even know what to do with her right now either, because she hasn't defended her title since Mania.
True. But
speaking of people that don't know what to do, we'll switch topics here. AEW, you said, has got some big things going on right now, Mike.
Yeah, so the last couple weeks they've been doing almost pay-per-views, 4-hour live events on Wednesdays.
Almost pay-per-views?
Well, yeah, because they're not pay-per-views; they're on Max and TNT.
They're doing a 4-hour show on free TV.
Yeah, that's what they did the last 2 weeks. This week is only
Jesus.
2.5 hours,
Oh, well, good. I was worried for a second.
and it's AEW Grand Slam Mexico. They're in Mexico for it, and this is the first time I think where something has had a special name, and Tony Khan didn't put 47 matches in there. There's only 6.
That's a really good start for him. That's a very good
Yeah.
start for Tony.
And it's 6 matches, 2 are multi-man matches, and of course, Mercedes Moné has a championship match against somebody else because why would she put her own belts on the line?
Oh, good.
So going down the list, we have uh, Okada versus Mark Briscoe, and I think that's for the belt. I'm not sure, but I know Mark just said he wants to whip Okada's ass.
Real quick, was this before or after Okada made Kenny Omega spit out all of his Kool-Aid?
That was after.
Okay, good. Okay, good. That shit was so fucking campy and over the top. That was
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
absurd.
that's them trying to go, hey, see how ruthless he is? He's going after the dude that had diverticulitis and almost died. Look at
Yeah,
him. He's a rat bastard.
he
He
made
elbow dropped him 4 times in the tummy.
he made all of his internal organs explode or whatever.
Oh, no.
That's kind of what it looked like. Kenny Omega walked into the
Yeah.
Party City and said, "I'll take all the blood capsules, please."
Well, that's how you make it fun.
I guess so.
And then we have a 4-way match.
Ooh.
4 million pesos high-flying 4-way. The winner gets 4 million pesos, which I believe is about $13. It is Ricochet versus Leo Rush versus Mascara Dorada versus Hologram. So it's going to be a really good match.
Is this another bald match, or am I imagining things?
No, Ricochet's the only bald one.
Damn
2
it.
people wear masks, and then there's Leo Rush.
Damn it. That was close. Oh well. Moving on.
And then we have the CMLL World Women's Championship match. Don't know how to pronounce this correctly. Zeuxis?
Zeus.
It's Zeuxis. She's the women's world champion facing
Zuzi?
Mercedes Moné.
Zuzi.
Sure.
We'll go with Zuzi.
But yeah, facing Mercedes Moné. So we might have 6 or 7 belt Moné again, which is
Oh, Sasha Christ.
yeah.
I
Not looking forward to that one. Hopefully, if she does win that, that means she's losing her belt or she's losing against Tony Storm or something. Because if she wins against Tony, I will cry.
that's
I
like
don't want her as a main champion
that's
ever.
like Godzilla versus King Kong. Have those two fought each other yet on the AEW main roster?
No, they will at the next pay-per-view.
Which is the big Yeehaw Boy Howdy Texas show.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And that we learned is at the beginning of July. No, middle of July.
Yes.
I'm remembered. Look at me. Look at the brain on the Jane Jackal stands for knowledge. All right, I remember these
knew
things.
it.
So she's going up against Zuzi.
Yeah.
I
And
fucking hope she don't get another
could
belt.
be a good match, but whatever.
If
It's
Sasha wins.
It's just another company willingly giving up their title. That's all.
Yep. All right. We'll come work with you guys, but that means you have to give up your main women's title to our Lord and Savior Sasha Christ yet again. However, it will put an extra couple of zeros on the end of our check we'll give you. They said, oh, deal.
I do
guess.
love everybody's like, look how great she is in the ring. Like this, you're talking about a company that has Athena, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale. Like, she's the 6th best wrestler on that roster, maybe. Queen Aminata is there, just putting boots to faces.
Ain't that
literally.
a Star Wars character?
No, that's Princess Amidala.
I was close.
Queen Amidala afterwards, but yes.
I was close. I, I think I see those same clips. It's like, oh my god, look at Mercedes Monet. She's so perfect yet again, and it's just her doing her entrance or just getting in the ring. Not even her.
Yeah.
My favorite wrestler of all time. Look at her go, and it's doing the most basic, mundane shit imaginable.
Yep.
Love that. Love that. That's the vocal minority out there. Or no, sorry, not even vocal minority. Vocal majority.
Yeah, they're out there just repping the same shit, different day.
Thank you, internet wrestling community.
Uh-huh, never change. God. And then we get into our first multi-man match, which is FTR and the Don Callis family, along with Hechicero,
Ooh.
against a wild team. We're going to go in reverse order of this team. Templario, Atlantis Jr., Bandito,
Ooh.
Daniel Garcia, Brody King, and Adam Cole.
Holy shit. What
If
the
the Don
fuck?
Callis family was to ever lose, it's probably this match because what the hodgepodge fucky team are they facing?
Oh my god, they're facing the island of misfit toys, and the misfit toys are actually like the DC superhero. It's the fucking Justice League. What the fuck is that wacky ass lineup?
I'm assuming. I do believe Buddy Murphy is hurt, so that makes sense.
Again.
Yeah, Daniel Garcia can't seem to find a decent spot in AEW to save his life. Adam Cole, I thought he was back with Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Apparently, he's just doing side missions now. Who fucking knows? Bandito just has a beef with everybody. Atlantis Jr., I believe FTR made fun of Atlantis, so that's why he's in the match. And Templario is, there.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Free TV. So you're
Yep.
saying that this is probably going to be the little sneaky match of the night, I hear?
It's probably going to be good. I mean, you have FTR, always great. Konosuke Takeshita, always great. He's probably going to forearm somebody in the face and knock him unconscious. Kyle Fletcher's good. Josh Alexander's going to pile drive the shit out of somebody. So, it's going to be a fun match. Adam Cole baby the whole crowd, and it's going to go wild.
Hopefully he doesn't simply walk down to the ring and shatter his ankle again. I would really appreciate
Also
it if
possible.
he didn't do that. What is the next match, my friend?
The next match is the MJF doesn't like Mexicans match.
Oh.
It's MJF versus Mystico. And he wants to just take Mystico's mask off of him. Plain and simple. And that's kind of been what he's been doing. I don't really know how it started. I must have missed the first moment, but yeah, he just wants to take the mask off of Mystico and say, claim that he's nothing in Mexico, he's nothing here. He demasked another wrestler this past Wednesday. Can't remember who it was, but MJF being a piece of shit like normal,
For those of us with that early 2010s wrestling autism, correct me if I'm wrong, that's OG Sin Cara, is it not?
That's what he calls him too, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Oh, boy. I'm surprised he's still alive.
And he said you might be Mystico now, but you'll never not be OG Sin Cara to me, bud. So yeah, it'll be just MJF being a piece of shit for 3/4 of the match, and Mystico trying to do some high flying stuff. Could be good, could be terrible.
About to whoop on that man in Mexico. That's how you give our favorite scumbag some heat. I don't know if you want this type of heat though. What's next?
The next match is I'm assuming the final match. Again, this could all be in reverse order.
Only 2 hours on TV. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it is the Death Riders, Mox, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick, against Will Ospreay,
Okay.
Swerve Strickland,
Okay.
and the Ops, which is Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh, oh, that is a beefy, beefy ass man. Can I just say I love that Joe got this group together and fucking called them the Ops. That is probably my favorite thing.
Well, and I will say Samoa Joe, I want him to have like one more big title run before he's done. But fuck, he looks like he's having fun, so that's what matters. That man deserves to have fun.
Oh, absolutely. I would actually love if fucking Samoa Joe came back to WWE for one more run, man.
Actually, I'll be honest. When he's all set to retire, I would love for him to be in WWE on commentary, be in WWE just to help train people, whatever it is. Like WWE needs that man.
Absolutely.
When he's like, you know what, I'm hanging up the belt or hanging up the shoes.
Perfect. Come back and work for us. We'll give you a nice blank check. You show on up, you get some work going, and we'll get everything all figured out. That's what you do when you're a legend. Joe's been doing this shit for a long time, just like all the other cats he's been running with, man. I love his promo work, especially getting that one where it comes on out during like the celebration of Jeff Hardy, and he calls him like a drunk piece of shit or something, and then roasts half of everybody in the ring. One of my favorite clips of all time.
I really wish they would have let him and Brock Lesnar really go for a bit, because I mean, Joe didn't hold back on him either, and you're just like, man, you could see Brock getting pissed. It was just one of those special moments because Joe likes to fucking push everybody's buttons because he doesn't have fear.
Nope, not at all. I think I saw the one Chris Van Vliet interview with him as well, where he kind of just flat out admitted, like, yeah, no, that was not planned or talked about backstage. I just sort of came out and said that. And it really caught both Brock and Paul off guard. I was like, ooh, ooh, that one got me in a little bit of trouble. that one got me in a little bit of trouble.
So I like it, man. But this is one of those matches that, again, it's going to be great, probably. Or it could be really fucking corny. But chances are it's going to be a great match. You have so many great participants in it that it's going to be a great way to close out a show if that's the way they do it. I'm assuming somebody or somebodies are going to bleed.
Do you think that sets up, a lot of this will set up more stuff for the big old Yeehaw show down in Texas, you feel?
Probably. I would think so. I don't know what, though, because I believe it's Hangman, of all people, against Mox at Yeehaw Texas show. And he's not in this match. Granted, do I think he'll probably end up getting involved at the end? Most likely. But Swerve is going to... Well, it'll probably end up being Swerve and Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. Because Will Ospreay saved Swerve this last Wednesday. Matt and Nick were going to put on, spiked shoes and super kick, handcuffed Swerve in the face, and at the last second, Ospreay jumped in front of him and took the kick himself.
Oh, he didn't get down, Mr. President.
Well, he did, and took a couple of. One of those kicks hit. I saw the one kind of graze on by. The other one did not.
Oh, mamacita. Young Bucks.
So I'm assuming his face resembles a pincushion.
Young Bucks are usually really good about not being super stiff, so I'm kind of surprised that they are lay it in there.
Here's the thing: when you go to kick, you have a certain angle you're expecting to probably stop at.
Yeah.
When a man slides in the ring, maybe a little too far.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Good
Your foot doesn't stop there, and you accidentally beat him in the forehead.
Whoop! Sorry.
But he probably couldn't tell because his nose was already busted from Swerve earlier.
His teeth were fucked up too, but that wasn't because of the kick. That's just because he's British.
Yeah.
Again, as a non-avid AEW watcher in the absolute slightest, I do think that this is one of those times, at least as far as I can remember, that I genuinely feel like Mox could probably lose the title here because you're getting the cowboy in the Texas state. It's been a while since Hangman's held that title. I think the last time Hangman had that title, CM Punk was still a part of the company. It's been that long. And I remember all the rumors about Bryan Danielson being there too.
Yes. Well, and again, that's not a room. That's Bryan
Oh, it's
Danielson
not a rumor. It is
said that.
confirmed.
Yeah, he said he wants to. He's like, do I think I'm wrestling? Probably not. He's like, I think that would be a
A bad idea.
way too big of a play this close. He's like,
Yeah.
but I will be in the back in some capacity. He's like, I don't care if I'm setting up the ring. I don't care if I'm, hanging out with people. He's like, I will be there.
You aren't going to say that and not make an appearance on camera. I'm
Right.
not, and we both know that he is not going to get a match for sure. However, I do think it is something to where he could get involved into the title match. I think Hangman very easily, I'm not going to say easily, Hangman could beat Mox here. And my theory also feels a little bit more correct with the news that was broke earlier today. It was either earlier today or yesterday, where AEW received a lawsuit from a former crew member
Jesus Christ,
working
yeah.
with AEW in 2019.
Hey, AEW, if you need a camera crew member that isn't a giant vagina, give me a call.
AEW and Jon Moxley sued for negligence, civil assault, and battery.
Yeah, so Mox, being the quote-unquote bad guy, shoved somebody down, and the guy said he sustained serious injury from being shoved to the ground while holding a camera.
I
Okay.
was able to read the article a bit before getting on the podcast, and it looks like it was the lead up where he was trying to get into the steel cage with Kenny, and it was the one cameraman where he just sort of shoved aside to sort of get out of the way. And this is coming from I'm reading through the article here right now. Christopher Dispensa seeking compensation following an incident on AEW Dynamite in 2023. The lawsuit was filed against the parties on May 30th in the Wayne County Circuit Court by Christopher Dispensa, a longtime wrestling and entertainment production crew member. Dispensa claims he suffered severe neck and shoulder injuries as a result of being shoved to the ground unexpectedly by Moxley during a match with Kenny Omega. Dispensa alleges in the lawsuit that the incident resulted in him requiring cervical fusion surgery, shoulder surgery, and treatment for other unspecified injuries. Dispensa said the injuries occurred on the May 10th, 2023 edition of AEW Dynamite in Detroit. There, Moxley faced Omega in a cage match, which ended up spilling to the outside. Mox went to grab a screwdriver to use on Omega, and in doing so, shoved Dispensa to the ground. The lawsuit claims Mox was supposed to only grab the screwdriver, and Dispensa took an unplanned fall as a result of being shoved. His legal team alleges this as an example of civil assault and battery, claiming that in allegedly deviating from the script, Mox either showed intent to harm Dispensa or, at a minimum, a complete disregard for whether harm was a result, which I find extremely interesting because, not a lawyer here, I do think that the only reason he has a leg to stand on right now is because of the surgeries that was done to his neck. However, working closely alongside some unsavory individuals, allegedly, I'd like to point out for legal terms, allegedly, this is all hearsay as well, one of my former colleagues that I once worked alongside claimed that he got injured at work and therefore made his work pay for his surgeries when he knew his injuries were prior existing to his employment and just wanted a reason for someone else to pay for it, allegedly.
Yep.
I'm not saying that this is the case right here. I just felt that was a funny story to tell the same time while telling that story.
Well, and I don't know if this guy has just never watched wrestling and he's only seen it from behind the camera and never paid attention to it or what. But how many times have we seen a cameraman get knocked over?
To a certain degree, cameramen are essentially props for some of these wrestlers.
Yeah, and I mean, like, okay, shouldn't you be ready to, like, if a wrestler's walking towards you, if a wrestler's near you, shouldn't you be ready for something to happen? Possibly. Like, this is a live show. You have a guy that used to just bleed for funsies. He's kind of tamed it back over the years. Now he makes other people bleed. But, like, the guy in 2019, especially, Mox, was fucking going out there doing whatever. You know, he was carrying the company on his back going into COVID the following year. So, I mean,
Yep.
like, I to me, this smells like cash grab, allegedly.
Hey everybody, it's Editor Era here from the future. Sorry I couldn't be in this episode, but I did just want to chime in as somebody who has been a camera operator for multiple indie wrestling companies. Yeah, you absolutely need to be prepared to fall. I mean, even if it's like by accident, obviously it's nothing that you want. You don't want somebody to come up and shove you like Mox did, but at the same time, it's a hazard of being out there, and it's something that you kind of just accept. At least in my mind, that's how I looked at it. I got glass on me before. I've gotten wrestlers thrown into me. I've had all sorts of things happen. So, but these were also small indie companies. AEW, you're at a larger size. Yeah, you're probably supposed to be a little bit more professional. I'm kind of on the camera op side here. I don't know if the injuries were as extensive, but it's all allegedly for now. Anyway, let's get back to the episode.
But
But
we'll follow this about as close as we can. I'm not going to say closely over the course of time, because when it comes to stuff like this, a lot of stuff is finished or done very quietly, or at the very least behind the scenes, not exactly in the public
yeah, he's probably
eye.
just one of those people. Hey, you know what? $2 million, and I'll shut up.
Yeah, just settle. You know, you never work with him again. You just settle outside of court, and then it never gets brought up again. It's just, I think right now, with the timing of it all, how you're about ready to have your champion be put into a match against a very believable opponent, I think just kind of smells like the perfect time for Hangman to get that title again. Mox to take a bit of a break, because
He needs a break.
he fucking needs a goddamn break, Mike. Someone
And
who
they
ain't
need to get rid of the Death Riders or fix that group. Something.
Man, that is my favorite piece of merch I ever seen, and I showed you. New Death Riders t-shirt. And it's just a plain white Hanes t-shirt. $29.99 on the AEW shop.
Yeah, I just... That group, they haven't really done much except for, you know, he said he was going to change AEW, so I thought he was going to be like this extra ruthless guy, going out there just putting on banger matches, beating the shit out of people. And instead, he's just become traditional, useless heel. And I get it, you know, people said, like, you became what you wanted to get rid of, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. So are we going to do anything different? No.
No.
Well,
Sweet. Awesome.
not going to progress that storyline at all. All right. And it's so, yeah, they need the breath of fresh air that Hangman is. Especially a Hangman with redemption.
Oh, of course. It works out really well, and they're about ready to get to their halfway point of the year, because their their big one coming up next would be going back to Wembley again.
Oh,
I
so
yeah, I think they're gonna run Wembley back. I believe.
I mean, the good thing they're doing is all in London on August 24th.
All in London.
So
There it is.
that's probably Wembley,
Yep.
and then there's All Out, which is going to be in Toronto.
Oh, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how's she going, eh? Oh God, I just can't get over that stupid Death Riders plain white T-shirt. It's good enough to just buy it, wipe your ass with, and throw it away again. Speaking of buying stuff to wipe your ass with and throw it away again, the Michigan Panthers.
Oh, nice segue.
Thank you. Jeez Louise. If I get another Michigan team to make it to a championship game and shit the bed again, I don't know what I'm going to do, Mike. I really don't know what I'm going to do. Genuinely, we had Michigan win the college natty as soon as this podcast started, and then the sports god says, okay, you get nothing else. God bless.
Yeah. Well, and like the DC Defenders were pretty good all season, but like the Michigan Panthers have had a few quarterbacks, and they were one of those teams where people were like, they always find a way to win. They didn't this time.
I went back and I saw. Excuse me. My body's shutting down being able to talk about the UFL for the first time the whole season. I went back and I was able to watch a couple of the highlights from it all, and the Panthers were never exactly a dominant team, for lack of a better word.
No, not at all.
I think the perfect way to describe it was just they found a way to win. And realistically, when it came to the championship game, it's just the gas finally ran out. The one thing that's even more frustrating and heartbreaking for me is that it happened to another goddamn Washington team.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
If I had a nickel every time a football team from Michigan lost a heartbreaking game to a football team from the Washington, D.C. area, I'd have 2 fucking nickels, Mike. It's just really goddamn frustrating that it's happened twice in the same fucking calendar year.
Well, and what's worse is that they go, for the UFL championship, we are starting a legendary name in the making. Rocky Lombardi. And it had such a good fucking ring to it, and then just wet fart.
Oh, no. I didn't know. Rocky Lombardi. He plays for the Michigan Panthers, don't he?
Yes.
Oh, no. I could have told you Rocky Lombardi was a wet fart in a paper bag. Oh, no, dude. Oh, that motherfucker did nothing at Michigan State. He was just a civilian at quarterback for the Spartans. That's why it was so nice watching him lose over and over again. Oh, we got hit.
And Michigan Panthers are like, listen, he's different now. He's going to take us there. He's going to win the whole fucking thing.
And
Here
we
go.
lost.
Yeah, damn it.
Turns out Puka Nakua's brothers weren't even good enough to carry his dumb ass to a title. Got him to the title game. Couldn't win the fucking thing, though.
No, hopefully a team in the NFL will fare better. Hopefully the Lions, this is their year.
Wow! Nice segue.
Thank you.
I know we were able to talk about the way too early divisional championship, or not the divisional championships, the divisional champions last week. And to continue our NFL talk, because we are getting closer and closer and closer to the season starting. God, we are so close. I think this time next month, the Hall of Fame game will be on, where the Lions will be going 1-on-1 with the Los Angeles Chargers taking on Jim Harbaugh's ragtag group of rejects. I
You say that, but that ragtag group won a lot more than people thought they were going to last year.
His number one squad, his first stringers did. I don't think his first stringers are going to be playing in the Hall of Fame game, though.
No, I hope not. I mean, if Dan Campbell fucking puts in like Aiden Hutchinson and he gets injured, I will snap my own neck. I don't know.
I will come over and decorate your walls with a bunch of Christmas decorations this time instead of you decorating
good.
your own. There
Let's
are
decorate them together.
Oh, perfect! Yeah, 'tis the season, baby.
Yeah.
There are a lot of question marks in the NFL right now. Like we talked about last week with Old Man Winter, Captain Kombucha himself, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, going on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a very recent free agent signing, if not the most recent free agent signing.
That still will never make sense in my mind. I don't care what way they spin it. You gave yourself a worse chance. And again, maybe they're trying to get the number one overall pick. Maybe that's their play.
There's a good chance.
But just have a kicker be your quarterback then. I don't know. Because wasting this money just seems so stupid.
Realistically, in the most realist sense of the world, like I said, the only thing that I could see happening here that tracks is that Tomlin wanted Rodgers on the team to be able to train Will Howard, to be able to teach him, to have him sit back there and learn from a great, because Ben Roethlisberger ain't on the roster anymore. Ben Roethlisberger's too busy going back to his titties and beer addiction again. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Ben Roethlisberger had to come out and publicly say that I was addicted to porn and beer back in the day. It's
Yeah.
one of God's bravest
He
soldiers.
didn't have to say he, assaulted anybody. He didn't get in trouble. He just said, I have some issues. And they were like, you sure do, fella.
Indeed.
But that's all right. You win. You won a championship. You're okay.
A single Super Bowl, man. God bless, dude.
But we don't need to go down the rabbit hole of why it's okay when you're an athlete.
Oh, no. That's a whole other... That's going to be 3 counted out after dark.
Yeah.
We'll handle that one later. There are some other notable NFL free agents right now. They are nowhere near as old as Aaron Rodgers is. However, they also ain't rookies anymore either. Mike, if you'll allow me, let me run down the list real quick. Cornerback Jair Alexander, wide receiver Keenan Allen, edge rusher Matthew Judon, wide receiver Gabe Davis, edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney, cornerback Stephon Gilmore, wide receiver Amari Cooper, edge rusher Von Miller, edge rusher Zadarius Smith, free safety Justin Simmons. That, in your little message in the Discord that nobody responded to, if this was like 5 years ago, that's an all-star team. Now, not so much.
Well, and that's, again, I don't know. Maybe it's because he has a bad attitude. Maybe he costs too much. But for the Packers to be like, wow, our best defensive weapon by a country mile, let's get rid of him.
Actually,
like, I saw that. I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, what? Why?
Yeah.
What happened? I thought somebody was going to come out and be like, oh, yeah, he likes, he thought Kanye had great ideas. Something.
Actually,
I don't know, because it doesn't make any other sense otherwise.
Yeah, Brian Gutekunst was able to get inside to Jair's home, and he was able to check Jair's hard drives, and we decided to let that man go.
That would... if they'd said something like that, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh, that tracks, that makes sense. Allegedly, actually, Mr. Jair, that was a joke. Haha, that was a joke. Yeah. It's funny.
Just funny haha bits for a podcast.
I think with a couple of those names for their bodies at the moment might be a little too rich for some team's blood. I fully agree that Jair was Green Bay's best defender on the field last year. Rashawn Gary, close second. Michigan boy, homegrown. I've seen his talents firsthand. It's really fucking frustrating playing against that kid on the lines. But on Michigan, he was an absolute treat to have on the field. Jair, though, head and shoulders better than Rashawn. I think Jair commanded too much money, and he was too inconsistent to be able to demand that much money. I think last year he played maybe 50 to 75% of the season. I'm not a Packers fan. I didn't follow them closely, so if he was there, played a part of the game, I wasn't keeping track of it. But just from what I heard, Jair did not play a whole season. A lot of names on here did not play a whole season. One that did, though, which I have very high hopes for, is Mr. Zadarius Smith. Because he has...
a man that wants to come back.
Absolutely. He has not officially signed yet with another team, which I thought he did for a second, and it kind of scared me. I fully believe that the Lions let him go to test the waters of free agency, and since he's still there, since nobody bit on him, they're leaving the door open to be like, okay, you tried to get the money you want, now we'll take you back for the money that we want. I am not sold on an edge rush of Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, and the new Egyptian draft pick that we got in like the 6th round this year. The draft pick is a good kid, fucking heart of gold. It looks great, but I am not confident in that with the schedule that we have. A 1-2 punch of Aiden Hutchinson and Zadarius Smith sounds so much better to me on paper. And one thing, it sucks that it happened, but one thing that makes it a lot more palatable for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, it sucks saying it, but Frank Ragnow retiring does clear up some money on your roster, because that's one less person you got to pay.
Well, so that being said, do you... Now, we're also kind of changing topic at the same time. Do you pick him up now and go, all right, I think our defense is good? Or do you go after somebody that is trying to command a shitload of money, like Jalen Ramsey or Trey Hendrickson if he ends up on the free agency?
If you are asking me man-to-man, one-on-one right now, Mike, for the Lions in a perfect world, we give up trade picks and money and I guess whatever second or third stringer Cincinnati needs, and we go after Trey Hendrickson. I would much, much, much rather have Trey Hendrickson on the roster. I love Zadarius. I love him to death. Great attitude, great personality, loves this city, and this city loves him. But with our schedule and this window, I think I'll put it to you this way. Zadarius Smith gets us to the playoffs. Trey Hendrickson gets us to the NFC Championship game. I'm not going to say the Super Bowl, but I do feel Trey Hendrickson is a significant improvement over Zadarius Smith right now at this very moment.
Sounds like there might be some communications between the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson again, damn it.
I don't know, because they've been talking for a long time. That talks could be, so we're thinking about trading you, or we're thinking about getting you back here. And don't they have to worry about getting their number 1 draft pick on the field too? That one fucker from Texas A&M as well.
Yeah.
He hasn't signed either. He hasn't done fuck all nothing.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I would love to see him on the Lions, because that defensive line would be terrifying.
Scary.
Do I think it's going to happen? No.
Probably not.
Is it wishful thinking? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Did it take me a long time to try to talk myself down from the Max Crosby and Myles Garrett hopes and dreams? Yeah, goddamn right it did. I just know that Marcus Davenport ain't going to cut it. I know they're going to give him one more year to try, but that fucker's going to make it 2-3 more games, and he's going to get hurt again and be out for the season.
Well, the one thing that bummed me out with Max Crosby was, he started off when the Raiders were bad. He was like, I want to be a Lion. He's like, the one thing I've always wanted to be was a Lion. And now they have, at least not a good team, but good leadership for the Raiders. And he's like, I like being a Raider. It's like, fuck, we had our moment, man.
Asshole.
We had this brief window where he wanted to come here. And now he's happy.
All because
we had him during a messy breakup. We had him in the palm of our hands, and we just let him fucking go. And now he's with his new girlfriend, all happy.
And it's old man Pete Carroll, of all people. Disgusting.
Yeah, Pete Carroll's over there making people chuckle.
Grandpa Ellen DeGeneres just probably could have hung it up and retired, but no. He's like, I still got more in the tank.
Well,
I just know that a lot of these free agents will more than likely find homes by the end of the season, because all of these teams could fill some big holes on their roster.
Uh-huh.
And I just know that some big holes were left on another roster, and that would be the national champion, defending, reigning, undisputed college football 25 playoff champions of the United States Tri-County area. It'd be the Ohio State Buckeyes.
You said 40 words that aren't in the title.
That's what they deserve. I'm not gonna call them what they actually deserve. They never beat us, man. They never beat us. We're getting a little long in the episode here. I just wanted to give a quick hypothetical that both you and I realistically will be able to discuss a lot better than anybody else on this podcast. I have two questions for you. We'll keep it simple. A Mount Rushmore of both college football teams and college football players since the turn of the century.
Since 2000.
Since 2000. We'll keep it nice and expansive. I think
you're not going to be happy with one of my teams.
We'll start with, what do you want to start with first? Teams or players?
We'll do teams first because it's broader.
Okay.
Alabama.
Very fair. Very fair. One of the most winningest programs since 2000. Nick Saban is more than likely going to go down as the greatest college football coach of all time. I don't give a shit about, butt dick kids doing whatever he needed to do back in the 60s. The sport was much different back then. I am one of those young guys that say, yeah, it was probably a lot easier back then before they tried inventing the forward pass. So, sure, the head coach of Harvard had a 267 game winning streak. Phenomenal, great, awesome. Don't care. It's much harder to win now, and Nick Saban won now with Alabama. So great pick.
A lot. Speaking of winning a lot, the next team, this is one you're not going to be happy with, but it's a fact. The Ohio State.
That
team wins a bunch all the time. And it's one of those things where you can't really, like last year, it started off where you're like, wow, this team's kind of good. They lost, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this team got real scary real quick, and then nobody could fucking stop them. And that's kind of been their MO every year. I mean, when Michigan won the Natty, that was one of those ones where you're like, Michigan was just better. They just were.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think even that Michigan team could have beat the Ohio State team from last year. But
even though this year's Michigan team beat the Ohio State.
Well, you know what? That's fair. That I guess only Michigan's team could have beat them.
That's a whole other can of worms, though.
Yeah, that's just the coach can't coach against Michigan for some reason.
But I would much rather put Urban Meyer's Ohio State as opposed to Ryan Day's Ohio State up on the Mount Rushmore.
Very fair, but you said teams overall.
Oh,
so
true.
That's Ohio State.
Very true. Alabama, Ohio State.
This is where it gets tricky. Because I could put a team like Georgia. Georgia's been good the last...
About 5...
10 years? 5-10 years?
I would say 5 to 10 is fair.
So I think instead of them, I'm going to put Texas.
Oh, very good.
Texas had a lull there for a little bit, but I mean, Texas has been another one of those teams that, like Ohio State, gets a lot of the recruits, wins a lot of fucking games all the time. And, they're always one of those teams where when you're looking at a roster, you're going, or looking at a schedule, you're going, fuck, we gotta play Texas. And so, and I mean, I think going forward, they're just going to keep on being one of those bastard teams, especially now that they have Arch Manning is leading that offense now because Quinn Ewers was in the draft, right?
Yep, went to Miami in like the 7th round, so they went to Miami in like the 7th round, so now they have a manning the ship down in Austin for the Longhorns.
And then number 4. If this was the early 2000s, I would have probably easily put USC there.
Very true.
But for like the last 5 years, USC hasn't really been much.
But they were one of the more dominant ones from, I would say, the early 2000s up until like 2014, 2013. They had
another one I could throw there.
Oh,
though, and this isn't blowing smoke up our asses just because we're Michigan fans. I mean, besides for Harbaugh getting the jitters anytime we got to a bowl game that wasn't the Natty, Michigan was a really winning fucking team there.
Yeah,
for most of those 25 years.
Michigan had that lull in which, Brady Hoke and Rich Rod took over, kind of the dark times, that like 8-year stretch from, I would say, 2014 to like 2007 type of range. So very
the Lloyd Carr era was beyond incredible.
Oh, so good. So good.
Rich Rodriguez was terrible. Brady Hoke was okay to start, and then it ended real bad.
Yep.
And then Jim Harbaugh came in and made it great again.
So very, very similar to Texas, had sort of that really hot early 2000s, took a lull, kind of faded away for a minute.
Yeah, because this is just Lloyd Carr in the 2000s. 9-3, 8-4, 10-3, 10-3, 9-3, 7-5, 11-2, 9-4. And that was us going to the Citrus Bowl 1, 2, 3 times in a row, the Rose Bowl twice, the Alamo Bowl, the Rose Bowl again, and the Capitol Bowl. And they have only missed a bowl game 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
So it's not that Michigan was ever bad. It's just Michigan on the down years were never elite compared to an Alabama or an Ohio State. So actually, Mike, I don't hate that. I really don't hate that pick.
And that was probably that. My fourth place would have probably been between them and USC, just because USC was a really great team. They're not now, and
No.
that's people are always worried about them now, and it's like, why? You don't have to.
Well, that's because Lincoln Riley doesn't know how to fucking play defense. So that's
True.
that's very true there. But in the sake of time, and you also kind of just talked me into it, I will let my first pick be USC onto my past 25 years Mount Rushmore. Another one that I will definitely throw up there will be LSU. I think LSU is always that sneaky good team every single year, especially when Saban was the coach. I believe they were able to get a natty under Nick Saban as well. And also when they had that humongous resurgence in 2019 with Joe Burrow and friends, you could honestly say that 2019 LSU team is one of, if not the best college football team of all time. That, again, is another podcast episode that I'm very excited to talk to you about specific individual teams. I think another one that I want to throw up there, I'll do different ones from you to keep it sort of varied. I will definitely throw up there Oklahoma. They were never the bride. Always the bridesmaid, though. Like, they were never, ever first place. But boy, oh boy, they always finish second, third, or fourth.
They always put on a hell of a show.
I think having quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield, my tongue broke. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams roll on through definitely helps out your program. And before then, they were always one of the more dominant ones, going back and forth with Texas. And they were even in that classic BCS game going up against Boise State, where Boise State pulled out every single trick play under the sun.
Yeah.
For my last pick, I think an easy... it's like, I wanted to say Clemson at first, but then I realized the only stretch of good they had was as of late, because early 2000s, you could not find a single fucking Clemson fan at all.
No.
It's only until Dabo Swinney decided to take over, and they were going toe-to-toe against Alabama for a good 4 to 5 year stretch, but Dabo Swinney doesn't know how to play with NIL money as of late, so he's not anywhere near any sort of title scene. But people are saying Clemson could do good this year, so we'll see. I think for my final pick, give me Oregon. Oregon, very similar.
Oregon has always been a team that and a lot of great people have come out of Oregon.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
they are
most
a
definitely.
Football making machine.
As we're finding out, a lot of Samoans live very close to the west coast of America. It's odd how that works. Yeah, crazy, man. Producing such talents as Penei Sewell, Marcus Mariota, and even more like Justin Herbert as well. So I'll take USC, Oklahoma, LSU, Oregon. You got Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, Michigan. That is a hardy lineup. But, Mike, unfortunately, looking at the time, I think I want to save our Mount Rushmore for players for next time. And I also kind of want to hear Era's take on the situation as well.
And why it's 4 Penn State.
It's Saquon Barkley, Trace McSorley, Tyler Warren, and James Franklin. Figured it out right there, America. Oh, wait. Oh, no, he's trying to cut in to add... Editor error is about to take over. Editor error is about to take over. No!
Jackal Joker's mother is a very nice person.
How dare he say that about my mother?
I know, that was uncalled for.
God, the audacity of that man.
Some people.
You know, if he doesn't add in anything into that part, he's just going to make me look like a crazy person.
I hope that's exactly what happens now.
But we won't know until episode 76 of the 3 Counted Out podcast comes to a close. So if you enjoyed this week's edition of the podcast, make sure you give it 5 stars, as we are a 5-star program, because 3 ain't enough. Man, I need 5, as Biggie Langston once said. Drop some comments on whatever platform you are on. I'll send out my trained monkey to try and find as many comments as possible so we can read them next week. If you're over on the YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you are looking at all of my hot, spicy YouTube content that I'm leaving on the channel. We're going through running some one-on-ones in college football. I'm playing through the WWE 2K25 Dynasty mode, as well as starting up the WWE 2K25 My Career mode, where you will all be introduced to Hork and Pork.
That's my favorite tag team of all time.
If you enjoyed the things that I said, I'll be in the back giving Pork a foot massage. Her little tootsies are tired. But if that don't work for you, you can find me over at youtube.com/JackalJoker or twitch.tv/JackalJoker.
And if you like me, stay here and listen to this on repeat so you can keep hearing my voice. And if you don't, that's okay. I'm hiding under the ring with Hornswoggle.
Speaking of which, where the fuck has Fire Guy Kev been?
I believe he's hiding in bushfire somewhere.
Hold on. All right, ready? Do you have that sample of him that you keep in your pocket, by the way?
Leave that.
Because I'm
supposed to just be for me. You weren't supposed to know about that.
Can I have a little? Because here, Mike, if you look to the right of me, I've been working on my instant transportation machine. Ooh,
All right, here you go.
So here we go. Let me take that. I'm going to simply open up the vial. Man, you really fucking glued that thing on there tight. There we go.
Yeah, glued.
Ew! We're going to drop a bit of the sample into the instant transportation machine. Mike, if you would like to hold on to me real quick.
Okay.
And you see that?
You're as excited as I am.
Oh, yeah, I'm sweating a bit. You see that big, shiny red button right in front of your face?
Yeah.
Hit that.
I pushed it.
Oh,
okay.
It's working. Holy shit, it worked. Oh my god, Kevin's laid down inside of a burning bush right now. There we go, there's the pin. Mike, cover him real quick. I got you with the
Why
count.
do I have to be on fire? All right.
There you go. 1, 2, 3. Ring that bell.
Ouch. Jesus Christ.
It's a good thing he's a firefighter. I think he'll be able to put that out. I don't know. Is he wearing his fire retardant clothing?
Yeah, he's got his fireproof undies on.
Oh, good. That explains why everything else is burning except his crotch.
Yeah. Gotta save that.
We gotta save that for a rainy day. Who's we, though? Not me. Also, how the fuck are we gonna get back to the podcast studio now?
I don't know. You're the one that teleported us. I figured you had that all squared away.
Oh, man.